is a big day for Diddy, Brian, because it's really the last time before he will ultimately face the judge a week from tomorrow, where he will be sentenced. And while chances are that there's not going to be some incredibly long prison sentence here, he is facing up to 20 years in prison. Anytime that is hanging over your head, how could you not be worried and concerned about your future? So before they ever get to that sentencing, Diddy's legal team, and he's in court as well, and it's happening right now, Brian, they are trying to argue that the two convictions, Diddy was convicted on two counts, two Mann Act counts, essentially transporting a sex worker across state lines with the intent of prostitution. And he was acquitted on the other three more serious charges. They are asking the judge to get rid of those two charges that he was convicted on. And if that were the case, then he would essentially get to walk out of the jail free and clear probably today. The argument is that they say prostitution is typically where, a party obviously pays, not to be graphic here, pays for a service, right? And they say in this situation, that's not what happened. That Diddy paid and he was never involved. He was simply a spectator as to whatever was going on at these freak-off parties, as we've heard them described many, many times before. Bottom line is, he says that should not be considered prostitution, and because of that, I should have never been convicted. And judge, throw out those two convictions and let me go free.
Can you give us an idea of what kind of sentencing recommendation is Combs' legal team, are they submitting or trying to get here? You mentioned that they're trying to get all of this thrown out. If that's not the case, what do you think they're going to try to get from the judge here?
Yeah, and I think it's really a long shot, Brian, and that probably doesn't even do it justice, because they've asked this before the judge and he has denied them. And I don't know that anything has changed now. They're making similar arguments. So they are asking for about a year, 12, 13 months in prison. The thing is, Diddy has already done that time. He was arrested in September of 2024. He has remained every minute between that time and right now in that federal detention center in Brooklyn. So by them asking for a year, that would essentially mean, hey, sentence has already been served and he walks free. They would be probably some other conditions, classes, things like that, that he would be required to take, but his incarceration period would be done. The prosecutors, for their part, they are asking for more time. So they are suggesting that Diddy serve somewhere between 4 and 5 years, meaning that he would obviously have 3 or 4 more years to serve in addition to what he has already put in. So those are the two camps. Does the judge kind of say, I'm going to split the difference? Does he give Diddy 2.5, 3 years, something to that effect? I would not be surprised if ultimately that's what happened.
Mike, I wanted to ask, and not sure if you know this question, do we have any idea how this particular judge has ruled on these types of cases or similar cases in the past?
I don't know how he has, sentenced when it's come to Mann Act cases in the past. I don't think that's something that we have, seen. I'm not even clear as to how many of these cases he's had in the past. At the end of the day, these were sort of the lesser charges. They were going after him under these RICO statutes, which could have carried, life in prison, literally. So this was kind of I think a catch-all in case they couldn't get convictions on the more serious charges. But I think he has shown to be very fair and be very reasonable, and hasn't been overly heavy-handed, one way or the other. So I don't think that he's going to go in here and wanting to make an example of Diddy and say, throw the book at him, give him 10 years in prison. I wouldn't expect for that to happen on Friday. I don't think that's the kind of judge that he's shown himself to be, at least from what we've seen over the last couple of months in his courtroom.
Now, we know that in the past, Diddy's legal team has been denied bail here. Do we think that could change maybe this time around?
Yeah, no, I think at this point he is going to be locked up until next Friday when sentencing happens. And then at that point, I think anything's on the table. If they say, hey, it's a year sentence, then he has served that. And I think then he could walk free. So I think he's got at least 8 more days behind bars. And after that, anything's on the table. He could walk free then, or he could have 3 more years. That's kind of the wide range of possibilities that Diddy's facing right now. And I think that's why he probably is very nervous as he sits here today and he is really hoping that something happens. There's a miraculous turn of events where the judge finally does see it their way on these two convictions.